Something has changed in the last 10 days. Something has changed over the face of the earth. Globally, collectively, and universally, water has literally broken out over the face of the earth and then some. The government knows it, and the world knows it, and in particular, the daughter of Babylon, Mystery Babylon, the United States of America, knows it. They know what is coming and who the great I am, the Ancient of Days, the Holy One of Israel, is bringing it to bear on the nations. They know, which is why they're doing everything that they're doing right now. Did you know that just 15 days ago, at the end of June, before all this broke out, that the DOD, along with the Navy, issued a report to all the meteorological associations and NOAA, the atmospheric agency, and all they said, we are ceasing immediately all data sharing from our satellites about weather patterns and the ocean currents and the wind streams. They cut off all of them because they know what's coming and they know who's bringing it. All these universities, all these Ivy League schools, all these whatever, all the volcanists, all the earthquake experts, all the hurricane experts, all meteorology in the United States of America, which then shares all the data with all the other European agencies and the Southeast Asia agencies, they all share this data that comes from our satellite-based weather monitoring. They cut them off overnight with no explanation. Did you know that? NPR reported on it. Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth. CNN reported on it. Fox News reported on it. 5 days before what happened in Texas, they cut off all weather monitoring data indefinitely. The U.S. Navy and the federal government cut off any data sharing because they know exactly what's coming and they know who is the originator of it. Right as the peak hurricane season is coming up. A group within the Navy called the Fleet Numerical, Meteorological, and Oceanography Center, who processes the raw data from satellites and turns this over to scientists and weather forecasters to use it in a wide range of purposes, including real-time hurricane forecasting and measuring sea ice in the polar regions. In late June, they said, no more, we're cutting it off. There is a reason for the stories breaking about the $21 trillion in black budget money that has been used to build underground military facilities all over the United States of America. There's a reason why that came out just a couple months ago. There's a reason why they want you to understand their capabilities with cloud seeding and geoengineering and all these things. There's a reason why they want you to understand that. There's a reason why they allow certain people to come on these different podcasters that have mega influences shows to share this data. It's predictive programming and it's confusion. It's cloud and pivot strategy. It's to overwhelm your senses. And it's a Hegelian dialectic that they're using to keep you from acknowledging the wrath of God. You'll always blame men. You'll blame governments. You'll infight with one another. You'll be so confused. You'll be so angry. You'll be so whatever that you'll never acknowledge that it's God and repent. It's strategic. Yes, they can do this. I'm not an idiot. I talk about these things. Yes. HAARP and ELF waveforms and space-based weapons and directed energies and earthquake weapons and tsunami-based weapons and what they're able to do with harmonic resonance on the earth. I'm very well of our militaristic technological capabilities with both geoengineering and all these other strategic plays of it. The bottom line is now they're at a point where they're going to be caught in their own devices by God's wisdom. So quit blaming men. Listen, our government and the governments of the world know what's coming. That's why they're preparing. You guys know the Svalbard seed vault? You guys know the genetic data? You think there's a reason for 23andMe and genealogy.com? Why there's genetic data banks? You think there's a reason why they want mRNA and they're messing with genetics? And they're GMO in insects, and they're GMO in this, and they're GMO in that, and they're GMO in that, and they're building off Earth, and they're building in the Earth, and they're trying to get off Earth. And they're building arcs, and they have Elon Musk doing whatever he's doing. They have planetary defense initiatives, and they're doing this at a breakneck speed. Not just the U.S., every government on the face of the earth at the exact same time, because they know what is coming, and they know from whom it is coming. Read the book of Revelation. They shake their fist at heaven, and they refuse to repent. And they curse God because of their afflictions. They hide themselves in the rocks of the earth, Revelation 6. All the mighty men, all the generals, they hide themselves in the rocks of the earth. From climate change? That's not what it says. It says from the day of the Lord. from the wrath of they know exactly what it is. All this is a feint maneuver. They feed you this over here, spend some stuff over here, and then they feed the truther movement this over here, and then they get the liberals, and then they get the conservatives, and then they get the cyber world, and then they get the mass media, and now nobody will repent and bow their knees before a holy God and cry out for the forgiveness of sins, because the earth is literally reeling and in travail, so heavy upon it is the sin of its lawlessness. Here's the headlines from the past 2 weeks. Just the past 2 weeks. Extreme flooding across the US, China, Honduras, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Taiwan, France, Spain, Germany, Serbia, Croatia, Ukraine, Russia, Japan, Mongolia. Unaccounted for meteorological anomalies of hailstorms in hailstorms in Ontario and Russia. Blue rain coming down. Southern ocean currents have reversed for the first time, signaling a climate system collapse. That's the article headline. First time in history. Did you catch that? First time in history, the ocean currents reversed. Do you understand how fragile the hydro conveyor and then the jet stream and then the atmospheric rivers are, and how everything works so perfectly with the magnetosphere and the thickness of it and the mesosphere and the ionosphere, and how these things move, and when the salinity of the water pushes down fresh water and the fresh water comes up here, and then what it does with the sea ice, and how everything perfectly interacts because God created it orderly and good, and it's perfect, and now it's all being reversed and flipped upside down in real time. This is the last 2 weeks. These are the headlines. The jet stream may be starting to shift in response to climate change. Insert a pole shift. They're using these things as cover language, neurolinguistic cover languages. Jet stream stalling and is blocking all normal weather patterns. Highly charged radiation particles in the water molecules are making rain and storms act differently than ever before. These are just headlines. The Mediterranean is as hot as bathwater, will cause superstorms and inland hurricanes that the meteorological community cannot account for. Psalm 18, 7 through 19 tells us this. The earth trembled and quaked. The foundations of the mountains shook. They trembled because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils. Consuming fire came from his mouth. Burning coals blazed out of it. He parted the heavens and came down. Dark clouds were under his feet. He mounted the cherub and flew. He soared on the wings of the wind. He made darkness his covering, his canopy around him, the dark rain clouds of the sky. And out of the brightness of his presence, clouds advanced with hailstones and bolts of lightning. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded. He shot his arrows and scattered the enemies. With great bolts of lightning, he routed them. The valleys of the sea were exposed. The foundations of the earth laid bare at your rebuke, O Lord, at the blast from your nostrils. Amos 5, 8, 9 says, he who made the Pleiades and Orion, who turns midnight into dawn and darkens days into night, who calls for waters from the sea and pours them out over the face of the earth. The Lord is his name. This is God's doing. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall be the coming of the Son of Man. Layers, right? I get it. Layers from transhumanism to Genesis 6 stuff. There's all kinds of layers to the days of Noah. But when I say days of Noah, what does everybody think about? Water and a deluge. As it was in the days of Noah, it will be just like this at the coming of the Son of Man. And then as it was in the days of first water, then fire.